Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Okay. Uh, few things. Kuber, your assignment 3 is an exact copy of Digvision. You haven't even changed the name on that PPT. Okay. I'm going to
No,
consider
sir.
that as not submitted.
No, sir. It
It's
was not a copy.
really, it's in the mail you sent, and it's exactly his PPT. Where is yours then?
So which one, sir? Which one?
Assignment 3.
Okay, sir. I will send you in just. I have my sir.
Okay. Go ahead. That would be label based forwarding. Uh, Today's hopefully lecture will finish early. It's not much, it's mostly theoretical. Just a few protocols that we have to go through. There are simple protocols, most of them are related to the mail. And this is the other half of the unit 2, continuation to unit 2. Sumit sir had taken the first half. It was related to DNS, DHCP, SSH, Telnet, and so on. Okay. I'll, I'm just looking for.
Sir, I sent you in WhatsApp, sir. Just now.
Please send it on mail, Kuber.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, okay, network and internet foundations and virtualizations of the okay. Okay. Uh, so on that LMS portal, units 3 and 4 PPT will also be uploaded. You can go through it in beforehand if you want, and probably it would be for the exam. So I suggest you go through it. Teaching will, mm, I mean, as we have our lectures and time, I'll try to make it as fast as possible. Okay, let's start. Uh, Sharing my screen. Sorry. Yeah, this is the I'm talking about. Okay, I'm waiting for your assignment. Till then, okay. Multicasting. Multicasting is a network communication method used to deliver data from one sender to multiple receivers simultaneously. Unlike unicast, one to one, or broadcast, one to all, within a network segment, multicasting is efficient for scenarios where the same data needs to be sent to a specific group of recipients, such as in video conferencing, live streaming, or stock market feeds. Okay, with examples, I think it's pretty clear what it is used for. Prathamesh. Okay. What we saw yesterday were unicast protocols. Okay. They were under unicast protocols. If you see here, okay, unicast protocols are used to route package data to single specific destination on a network, one-to-one communication. What multicast is? One to many, like videos conferencing, live streaming, or stock market feeds. Okay. Multicast basics, multicast addressing. Multicast uses a specific set of IP address ranges designated for multicast traffic. Cast range is from 224.000 to 239.5.255.255.255. So that would be 224.0.0.1 to 255 and so on. Okay. While IPv6 uses addresses starting with double F double zero colon /8. Okay. Let's pick a new port for today. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so I was giving an example of these IP address ranges. So 224 to 224.0.0.0 to 239.255.255.255, which includes ranges like 244.0.0.1 to 224.0.0.255. Then there will be 1 year, 255 year, plus from 0 year and then to 255. So that would go from 1 to 255 to 255 and so on. Okay, that's how the ranges would go. Sorry, second point. Group membership. Devices interested in receiving multicast data must join a multicast group. This is managed by protocols such as Internet Group Management, IGMP for IPv4, and Multicast Listener Discovery, MLD for IPv6. Okay, we don't need to go much in detail, but in general, there will be a group, okay, in an active directory, probably, and in that active directory, you would put the uh, members in that particular multicast group. For cloud, it would be something like Azure Active Directory. I am assuming here that people know what an Active Directory is. Okay. But to give you a short description, Active Directory is like a phone book. Okay. Like how Yellow Pages were. Do you guys know what Yellow Pages was? It was a book that contained phone numbers of everyone, even people you didn't know. Okay. Next, to deliver multicast data efficiency across a network, routers need specialized multicast routing protocols. These protocols establish optimal paths for multicast packets from the source to all members in the multicast group. Okay, so basically it's saying that best path is identified. Uske protocols अलग होंगे. So key multicast routing protocols. First is PIM, protocol independent multicast. Okay. Uh, Creates a multicast distribution tree only when there are interested receivers. This is more efficient for networks with scattered group members. Okay. So basically it is creating a tree. So we have sender and there will be receivers. So they can be in different networks, but basically it creates a tree. Okay. So direct or there is another device and from there it goes to something else. So this is carrying a tree for sender to receiver. Okay, and it is protocol independent multicast, so it does not depend. So our protocol is independent. For example, suppose SPF, sorry, RIP and OSPF we were using. Okay? These are point to point and will not be used in multicast, but I'm giving you an example. So these are independent of this. Okay, its matter is to create a tree, and for that tree all the messages will go. It does not depend on the shortest path or fastest path. The mapping is done and then the message is sent. It is irrespective of the protocol that will be used. Next, PIM dense mode assumes receivers are widespread and floods multicast traffic, then prunes back to the network as needed. This mode is suitable for dense local multicast groups but is less efficient in larger networks. Okay. To give you an analogous example, it would be something like chess. Do you know how chess bots algorithms are made? They are based on the tree concept. So this is a chessboard. Okay, and let's say player one makes a move. Okay, then you have multiple trees. Okay, multiple possibilities. Player two makes maybe a pawn move, or he moves a knight. Okay, or maybe he moves a pawn to the left side. Okay, so like this you have tree. Then you have again player one probably making two possibilities. Okay, and then player two. But okay, let's say player one makes pawn, makes a this is player one white. Okay, player one white, player two black. Okay, now player one white again makes a move. Let's say he makes a knight move. Then we have again branching trees for player two. Okay, he makes a move, and then the tree finds out that actually it was this move or the other thing that was better. So what it does, it tracks back and goes to the other branch because there was a better move over there. So the next move would be better. So based on this player to move, suppose he played it here or here, the next tree branch would be something else. Okay, so basically goes back in the tree. excuse excuse me. Okay, did you understand this? So it makes predictions like player two played this, so one this, it goes down down down, and it finds out that this is not the correct prediction, or this is not the optimal way. Okay, so let's say it is going down like this like this like this. Hmm? And at this point it finds out that he is going to lose the game. So what he does, he tracks back and finds another branch which is going over here, because in this branch he will win. Okay, that's how this going to work. That is what means by prunes back to the network as needed. This mode is suitable for dense local multicast groups but is less efficient in larger networks. Why? Because you cannot come back from a large distance or multiple devices. Next, distance vector multicast routing protocol uses a distance vector algorithm similar to RIP. It creates a multicast distribution tree by flooding multicast packets and then pruning paths where there are no receivers. This is one of the earliest multicast routing protocols and is mainly used in isolated multicast domains. Again, the same thing. So it uses similar algorithms like RIP. For example, it is using hop count. Let's assume it is using RIP only. Nothing similar to. So what it does now, it will go to the hop count and see if there are any receivers. If there are no receivers, it prunes the paths. Okay. So same thing. It creates a tree. Okay. It creates a tree, and assuming that these are not any receivers. So what it does, it prunes the path. This path are no longer there. And the new tree that is formed, or the algorithm path that is formed, is this one. Okay. That's how it forms the path. And next multicast messages would be sent, saving you time and administrative overhead. Okay. This is one of the earliest multicasting protocols and is mainly used in isolated multicast domains. Next, multicast open shortest path first. Like how we had OSPF in point to point, we have OSPF in multicast. An extension of the OSPF protocol uses link state information to route multicast packets. It's suitable for networks already using OSPF but has limited scalability for larger networks. Bidirectional PIM, suitable for scenarios with many sources and receivers, as it forms a bidirectional tree to simplify traffic flows. Source and specific multicast, used for scenarios where the receiver knows the source address it wants to receive data from, enabling a more controlled and scalable multicast distribution. Okay, this is, uh, I mean, we don't need to go deeper in this. This is good enough and rarely comes into picture. Point to point comes a lot into picture because you continuously have to make changes to the connections. Okay, you can get different customers and companies coming up to you telling you to form connection between you and them. So those protocols and those scenarios come more for work than multicast. Okay, but still, if you're interested, you can search these protocols and go deeper into them. Okay, this is for self study. What are the applications and challenges of multicast protocols? Multicasting is widely used for streaming media, real-time data sharing, and collaborative applications. Challenges include scalability, managing group memberships, and ensuring reliable delivery in multicast only or hybrid environments. Multicast protocols are critical in scenarios with multiple recipients needing simultaneous updates, but they require careful configuration and support from underlying infrastructure to be effective. Uh, if you want more idea, I would suggest you search or research multicasting applications and challenges rather than individually going through these protocols. So first, search more or do more self-study in the applications and challenges, and then you go deeper in a particular protocol. Okay, for example, you can say how Netflix is using multicasting protocol. Okay, it will give you how it is used for streaming media, what kind of protocol it is using. Okay, for example, multicast OSPF. Okay, it uses for scalability for larger networks. So multiple people join in and they want to watch a same series, for example. How am I supposed to deliver those messages, right? It's not that everyone is in same city, in multiple cities. So that's a larger network and still have to find the best path to send the particular stream of the series. So how that is done, you can search that way. Okay, so first search the application and then its implementation, and then you can go dive deeper into the particular protocol. Okay, I don't think anybody has any doubts. This is mostly theory, but if you have, please go ahead. I'll wait a few seconds. Okay, next, file transfers. There are two protocols, FTP and TFTP. Okay, another point to note, whatever protocols are taught or been teaching, please make a note of their port numbers. Okay, you find it on your own on Google, you'll find the port numbers and you make a note of it. What are port numbers? Even that you will get it on Google, but otherwise also I'll explain it to you, just not in this unit. Okay. File transfer, FTP and TFTP. FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol. TFTP stands for, anybody knows, basically? Sorry, and it's not
Uh,
TFTP, it's SFTP. Sorry, my bad. SFTP. Yeah, that's better.
Sir, secure file transfer protocol.
Yeah. So when you say secure, in generally it just means one term. Do like how is something secure? What do we call it?
Sir, I think it uses SSL and all that. So that's
Yeah.
why
Yes, you're right. So the term in general, when someone says secure, it's encryption. Okay. So if someone says it is secure, what does it mean? Key, it is encrypted and sent. That's it. That's a general term for secure. And encryption, there are different methods, obviously. So we don't know which one. So in general, why I'm mentioning is this because when there would be interviews, Viva or so forth, you would generalize it by saying encryption. Okay. So these are, oh, by the way, I'm assuming that this is not taught. Okay. This was not done by Sumit sir. Okay. I'm guessing I'm right. So these are protocols that are used to transfer files over a network. Okay. FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol, standard protocol. FTP is the language that computers use to transfer files over a TCP IP network. Okay. This scenario is such that there are PCs. Okay, all are connected to a network. In this case, we'll just assume internet or an internal network. Okay, let's say it's an internal network. Hmm. Then there is an admin, for example, and we have a FTP server. Let me see if I have an FTP server there. No, I don't. Do I have FTP server here? No, okay. I don't have any mapped. Okay. So what this does is, what this protocol does is, let's say an admin wants to send you lab manual. Okay. Lab manual. Now, what he does for organization or proper management is that he puts it on an FTP server. What is an FTP server? Is nothing but a machine that is holding data. Okay. Give me. Yeah. So it is a server that will hold data. Okay. So what the admin does is he takes the lab manual and posts it on the FTP server. During this post, the protocol that is used is FTP, File Transfer Protocol. It helps the machine, the admin, to post the files on the FTP server so that the clients can download it. Okay, PC1, PC2, PC3, so that they can download it. And while these PC2, PC1, and PC3 download the file, even they will use this protocol so that files are downloaded from your server. The same thing will come into place when you are downloading something from the browser as well. So for example, if you go to www.bittorrent.com, okay, and want to download a file, what will be used? It will use the FTP. What is it? It is nothing but this scenario only, same scenario, FTP scenario. So the BitTorrent is the site. What is that site? That site is hosted on a server. Okay, this is a server. Okay, it is a machine. It has hard drives, and on that hard drives there are files. Okay. And what is the name of that server? It's bittorrent.com. So someone has already posted those files on the server. Let's say this is the admin. What you do, we go on the browser, right? And we type over there www.bittorrent.com and we start downloading the files. During this process, FTP is applied. That's the whole scenario. Okay. So a dedicated FTP server is not required. You can also configure your own PC to act as the FTP server, right? Another scenario is that in this, okay, in this, instead of having a dedicated FTP server, your own machine can act as a FTP server. Okay. So I can put my machine, I can give you my machine address for you to download the files. So this PPT, I will put it on a shared folder. Okay. So यहाँ पे एक ये होता है देखो networks करके. You see this network. Right now it's blank. Okay. But what I'll do is I will create a drive on this network folder, and on that drive, let's say K drive, I will post the PPT. Okay. And I will give you its address. So what it will be K dot my name dot teaching hyphen slash files slash PPT. This is what I'll give you. So you will go on this file path, okay, shared path. It will either be directly visible to you over here, or you can type it on the browser and the browser will take you to this file path. Once you go, you will download the PPT, which is I have already posted over there. So my machine is acting as the FTP server in the previous scenario. So you guys are here, okay, and this is my machine. I have already posted that files on this drive. The only thing you have to do is go on this file path and download the file. So when I am uploading, I will be using a different protocol. We'll not go into that. But when you guys are downloading the files from this drive, you will be using FTP along with others, since this is a network shared drive, but the main one is FTP. So when you are downloading files over the internet or from an FTP server in your local network, you guys are using FTP protocol, which is file transfer protocol. Okay. You can transfer files by using your standard internet browser or tools that provide the FTP client functionality. Sometimes FTP servers require an account with a username and password, and sometimes you can just log in anonymously. Data is not encrypted, it is sent in clear text format. So the problem of FTP is that it is sent in clear text. So suppose the file has example username, okay, and password. The file when you download, okay, from the FTP server to your machine will go like this only. And if someone is listening on the connection, okay, or someone has hacked your machine, for example, they will get to know the username and password because it is clear text. Okay. In SFTP, this is secure. Means what? It is encrypted. So username, for example, if it is Yashraj, my name. First, it was going Yashraj as it is. Y was going YASH. Now it will go like one exclamation mark equal to less than sign R capital and A and Z, for example. This is how the data will be transferred now. Getting the point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Secure file transfer protocol, similar to FTP, but it adds a layer of security. What security? The one that I told you. It just encrypts the data. Okay. The data using secure FTP is encrypted using secure shell during data transfer. It authenticates both the user and the server. Uses port 22. Both FTP and SFTP are connection oriented protocols that use TCP for transfer. That means they guarantee file delivery. Okay. One of the examples is, suppose you're downloading a movie or a game and your internet connection goes off, or you pause it in between, or you stop for some reason, and then when you start again, it resumes as normal. Okay, it resumes from that point itself. It remembers how much data has been sent and it continues from there itself. Why? Because it's a TCP oriented connection protocol. Okay, so it remembers those things. So data is guaranteed delivered. See, okay, you remember from the TCP sequence numbers and all. Okay, those who have attended the previous TCP lecture of Sumit sir, you will know. If you don't, please go through the recording. Okay, these are connection oriented protocols. That is why data resumes as normal after an interruption in the downloading or transferring process. Okay. To give you an example, see, so here, like it said, okay, a dedicated, you can transfer files by using standard internet browser. The example of BitTorrent, the files you download from Facebook or whichever site you are on, or tools that provide the FTP client functionality. So there are certain tools. The most common one is FileZilla. It is the most used tool in the world for this functionality, FTP. Okay, so this is how it looks. So now, for example, this is host, username, password, and whatever you want to connect. Okay, so for example, let's say I am in my this is my home. Okay, this is my home, and I have a virtual machine, and this, let's say this is cloud. Okay, this is the whole cloud. Okay, from my home laptop, I connect to a virtual machine on the cloud, VM, virtual machine. On that virtual machine, there is a file that I need. Okay, so how do I download that file? Now I am not going to do it over the internet browser. I don't have the address, I don't have anything. Basically, by address I mean the www dot that. Okay, so in this case I still want the file. So what I do, I use the FileZilla. Okay, this is to download file from VM which is in cloud. Okay, cloud, what your Google OneDrive, Microsoft OneDrive, Google ये वो whatever. Okay, so एक file है and it is in a virtual machine. Now virtual machine has an IP address 192.168.0.32, for example. So what I do, I put that host over here. Okay, I put 192.168.0.32. I give it a username. Okay, on this virtual machine. So what I have is FileZilla client. On the VM, there is FileZilla server. Okay, I have made the configurations over there. On that configuration, I have said that username YASH and password 1234 should be accepted. Okay, and only those connections will be allowed. So over there I put Yash, password 123 and 4, and what should be the port? 21, since it is FTP. Okay, and I say quick connect. and it will obviously not connect because there is doesn't exist any. But let's say assume it connects. Okay. Now you see this is local site. Okay. These are my files and under my PC. Okay. So if you see C users YSLU downloads, this is the file. These are my downloads. Okay. These are my downloads. This is the file. And you see it is written remote site over here. So on that remote site, it is will give you the virtual machine files. So for me, it is C users YAS / downloads. Okay. And let's say on the remote site, it is something like C programs. And whatever, now you see my files, file 1, file 2, file 3. Similarly, you will see files over here, file 1 or file 2. Okay. And with the help of tool, you can transfer files between your local site and your remote site. What it uses FTP. Okay, you can see it over here. If you see quick connect, sorry, port, let's see. Yeah, enter the port on which the server listens. The default for FTP is 21. The default for SFTP is 22. This is how files are transferred with the help of tools between clouds or internal networks or something that is within a company, let's say. Okay, or between your local desktop and virtual machines and so on. Depends on how the setup is made. Otherwise, what we normally use is over the browser. Okay, the BitTorrent example. Next, any doubts in this so far?
No, sir.
Okay. WW and HTTP, again, pretty simple and known. Okay, WW is World Wide Web. It is a network of PCs. Okay, over the protocol HTTP. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Okay, the HTTP is an application layer protocol that allows web-based applications to communicate and exchange data. The HTTP is known as the messenger of the web. It is TCP IP based protocol. It is used to deliver content, for example, images, videos, documents. So the whole point of this is that, sorry, HTTP is used to transfer data over the web. So if there is one person over here, and they are in different locations, okay, or in different countries, the way to connect them is via the web. What is a web? What web? Web of machines, computers, and each point there is a router. Okay, this is what forms your web. And this routers then forms, what do they form? They form networks. Okay, so this is network 1, this is network 2, this is network 3. Okay, let's say this is network 4, and so on. So when something is requested from person 2 or website or a server, it has to travel to the web. And how does it travel through the web? With the help of protocol HTTP, which is hypertext. What is it? Hypertext transfer protocol. Okay, so it is basically used to transfer files, videos, documents, and so on. How are based on this? And the reason they are transferred it that way is because they were written the hypertext markup language. They were written with HTML language, on which the web is World Wide Web is based, and hence we use the protocol HTTP. So when something is requested over the web, we have, sorry, over the internet. Let's say we have a web of routers and networks, and the information flows through it based on HTTP. So these wires use HTTP. It goes from network 1 to network, okay, it goes from network 1 router 1 to network 3's router 2 to network 4's router 1 and router 2, and then to the last person to get what, let's say, login page of Facebook, where you enter the username and password. Okay. That's the whole idea of www and HTTP. Features: stateless. Each request is independent and the server doesn't retain previous interactions information. Text-based. Messages are in plain text, making them readable and debuggable. Client-server model follows a client-server architecture for requesting and serving resources. Request response operates on a request response cycle between clients and servers. Request methods supports various methods like get, post, put, delete, or different actions on resources. These features of are of HTTP and not of World Wide Web, not of internet. Okay. A client server architecture includes two things. Okay. One, client, the other is the server. Okay. Client is laptop, phone, desktop, pads, smartwatches, etc. Okay. And servers can be anything with a domain. Okay. Servers are anything with a domain. So Facebook, YouTube, Google, these are all servers. A client server architecture is a connection between a client and a server over the internet. And this is not a necessity. You can have client server architectures internally as well. An example is the FTP server. Okay. You have clients, which is laptops, desktops, and without the internet connection, a simple wire connection to the FTP server. Okay, this is a client server architecture where you make a request to the FTP server for a particular files so that you can download a particular file. Okay. Then request response operates on a request response cycle between clients and servers. Request response in the sense that the client requests the login page and the server delivers that page. Okay, this is request response. And in this between, certain connection procedures takes place. For example, three-way handshake takes place. This is one of the many methods in which the client authenticates or introduces itself to the server to form a connection. Okay. Client says to the server, hello. And then the server says, I am ready to accept your request. And client says acknowledged and sends the request. So this is three-way. This is handshake. After this first three steps are done, a connection is established between the two. Okay. Hence, we call it a request response system, or it is a feature of the HTTP. Okay. Then methods of HTTP used to retrieve data from a specified source. It should have no side effects and is commonly used for fetching web pages, images, etc. Post used to submit data to be processed by a specified resource. It is suitable for form submissions, file uploads, and creating new resources. Used to update or create a resource on the server. It replaces the entire source with the data provided in the request body, used to remove a specified source, delete, used to remove a specified source from the server. Again, for example, okay. Now, for example, this is the client. It connected to a server over the internet. Okay. They do introductions and a connection is formed. This is done over HTTP. Why? Because the client wants to get a file. Okay. So this is hypertext transfer protocol. And why? Because it is going to get a file which is written in hypertext markup language. Okay. So after that is done, after in the client server architecture, okay, in the client server architecture, once the request and response part is done, we go to the transfer protocol. Okay. How it does is then it sends a message. In that message, it has a header. Okay. In that header, it says, okay, these are the methods. Okay. It is a method. It says, for example, get. What get? HTTPS dot file server name. For example, ftp.google.com/files/project/script. Okay. And some few more information Okay. That is what my header will look like. So this is a header. Okay. In that, first is the get method. Okay. Then the URL, and then some other information like port number, for example, 22. This is how the header is. This is the message body, if anything else needs to be written. So what is it? It is a get method of HTTP. What do I need to get? I need to go on this URL and get this script file on port 22. Okay. So what this does is my browser, this what you are seeing on, okay, this Internet Explorer or Google Chrome, what it does is it, when you type that, so Google Chrome behind the scenes, what does it do? It performs the get operation on this URL to get the script file on the port 22. Okay. It's that simple. There is nothing else in it. Similarly, we have post, to post something, like for example form submissions. जब आपको Google Forms कोई भेजता है and you put data in it, right? How does it go? It goes through the post HTTP method. Then there's put, there's delete, there is more. Please note that there are not just four, there are more than that. I have used these four as an example because they are the most commonly used. HTTP request response, how does it work? Is the same way that I just showed you. This is just, let's say, theory part. Okay, so I'll read through it quickly. HTTPS is a request response protocol, which means that for every request sent by a client, typically web browser, the server needs a server response with a corresponding response. The basic flow of an HTTP request is client sends an HTTP request, server processes the request, server sends an HTTP response, client processes the response. So what is our request here? Client sends the HTTP request. It is what? Get file script from this URL on port 22. This is our request. Server processes that request. He says, okay, the requester wants this file and I am going to send it from port, let's say 21. Why? Because it is FTP. Okay, FTP पे file send होती है. Then server sends an HTTP response. After processing the request, the server sends an HTTP response back to the client. The response includes 200 OK 404 not found. So अगर सर्वर अवेलेबल है, उसने बोला है कि हाँ मेरे पास ये फाइल है, मैं तुमको दे भी सकता हूँ, बाकी सब इंफॉर्मेशन सही है, so he says what 200 OK. I am sure you know very well what error 404 is. It is very world famous. Okay. If a particular server website is not found, it comes out to be 404 not found. Okay. And after that, once we get the client, as in this browser, okay, if I go it in downloads, I'll get the files. Okay. Client processes the response. So this browser, when he gets the response, he processes it. What does he do? He takes it in downloads and he puts it in download folder for me to see, so that I can install whatever I have asked for. Okay. Is it clear? It's very simple. Okay. So we have a request. We have server processing the request. Then server sends a response and the client processes the response. Okay. Next, SMTP. Okay. Before that, okay, I'll show you another. Yeah. Do you know how to see HTTPS headers? Or what this whole HTTP happens?
No, sir.
Yes, no, no. Okay. So if you go here, it will be different for Chroma. This is for Microsoft Edge. Okay. You go in developer tools. Basically, somehow find to go to developer tools. Go into network and then refresh the page. Okay, we'll take a simpler page because this has 287 requests. Let's go to YouTube. Again, you go here, you go to more tools, you go to developer tools. Okay, and then you refresh. Yeah, this is better. So you have, I'll stop. Okay. So let's say you have 42 requests. Okay. Not all of these are related to HTTP. Okay. But you see, status is 200, type is script, and so on. So these are basic informations. Now, for example, let's pick something like, so these are video playback. These are, what is this? 403 fetch. Okay, type was fetch and its status is 403. What is 403? Let's see. 403 status code. Forbidden error. A forbidden error means you don't have permission to access a web page. So I do not have permission to access this URL. Okay, let's take a better one. For example, this web animations next life so and .js. .js is an extension for okay. .js is for JavaScript. See, you see these headers. Okay, so you see what information is transferred. When I showed you an example over here, oh shit, it will change. Right, never mind. Okay. You remember I gave you an example. It said get URL port and some other information, right? Here, some other information. That other information in the headers of HTTP is what? Is this. I'll show it to you again. See this. Ranges, age, cache control, content length, and content encoding, type. See, this is text JavaScript. So this is all in JavaScript. Okay, the time, expire, and this is all in response headers. Huh? It means that the server has sender. Which server? YouTube server has sent us. Okay. And what we sent them this. See, request headers. What did I send them? I sent them https.youtube.com, which you can see here, which I typed. Okay. And this is what they got. So then you have Windows, you have user agent, Mozilla, whatever, Apple WebKit, and all that. Okay. So this is how, and they gave a response. So this is the response headers. This is what comes in other information of a HTTP header. Okay. You can do self-exploring later. Let's move on to the next. SMTP. So SMTP, let me see how much is remaining. You guys want 5 minutes break?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's meet at 10:35. Okay. Seven something. Mr. V. What's your first name? And I'm sorry I'm unable to spell your last name. Sorry, pronounce. Mr.
It's
V,
actually my first name.
your first name is?
The Van Loos Wetrong is supposed to be my first name, but that's how we write the name.
Okay, and how do you pronounce it?
Van Loos Wetrong. You can
Sorry,
just say Duata.
I can say
Duata.
Vata.
Yeah.
Okay, Vata. Vata, I mean, the lecture is till 11, so this is the one and only time I'll mark your attendance, and from next time I'm going to just deny access. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. SMTP. Now we are moving on to the protocols which are related to mail. SMTP, IMAP, POP, and is there anything more? MIME. MIME. Okay. All are pretty simple. Just generally perform one functionality. SMTP performs more. It is, of course, each protocol is a little complex if you dive deeper, but POP and IMAP are the simplest of all, and they perform only one function. Okay, let's start with SMTP. A set of commands that authenticates and directs transfer of mail operates at the application layer of TCP/IP protocol stack. The client who wants to send the mail opens a TCP connection to the SMTP server and then sends the mail across the connection. The SMTP server is an always on listening mode. As soon as it listens for a TCP connection from any client, the SMTP process initiates a correct connection through port 25. After successfully establishing a TCP connection, the client process sends the mail instantly. Okay, SMTP. Now, your what do you say? Your mails are set up in a way that they are connected to a server. Okay, so there is a sender, there is an server, SMTP servers on your side, and there is an SMTP server on the recipient side, and that's the receiver. So SMTP does come into play in receiving also, but 90% or like majority of times it is used in in the sender side. Okay, in the receiver side, POP or IMAP, POP 3, okay, is 3 is for the version, so POP 3 or IMAP is used in order to download the mail. Okay, so how that scenario goes is, so we will only go up to the sender side. Okay, so we have a sender, and once you send a mail, okay, smtp smtp comes in, simple mail transfer protocols come into picture, and it transfers it onto the server which is on your side, which is on the sender side, and on that server your mail gets posted. Okay. After that, whoever the receiver is, the mail gets onto that receiver's server, and then he downloads it using POP or IMAP protocol. Okay, so the client who wants to send the emails opens a TCP connection to the SMTP server. Please note that this is not sent to the receiver. It is a TCP connection that is opened with the SMTP server. Okay, if you have a Gmail account, your server will be smtp.gmail.com. If you are connected to something else, it will be smtp dot the name of the server dot com dot in dot government dot whatever. Okay, so the format is smtp dot name of the server dot the domain. Okay, the DNS level dot com dot in dot government and so on. Then and then sends the mail across the connection. The SMTP server is an always on listening mode. So the server is always on the listening mode. It's continuously listening, so it doesn't matter when you send it. Connection is always on. It sends on port 25. After successfully establishing a TCP connection, the client process sends the mail instantly. Okay, this is up to the sender side. Receiver के लिए we use different protocols, which is POP or IMAP. We'll see ahead. Then, what is an SMTP envelope? Purpose: the SMTP envelope contains information that guides email delivery between servers. It is distinct from the email headers and body and is not visible to the mail recipient. Okay, so for you, as in you, the one who is going to receive the mail, it is not visible. Contents of SMTP envelope: it includes sender address, specifies where the email originates, recipient address indicates where the email should be delivered, and helps servers determine the path for email delivery routing information. Now, this routing information is limited. For example, if you are using Gmail for personal use, it is very limited. If you go on Outlook, or if you use Outlook SMTP server, or if you're in a company and you use third-party tools, it gives you a better or more detailed information about the routing. Okay, how the mail came to you from where, that information comes in more detailed when you're using like a company business software, let's say. Okay, business software, business analysis tools, all these will give you a better understanding of the routing information. But for us general public, when we are using Gmail, Outlook, whatever email service you use, we have very limited information on the routing. Okay, comparison to regular mails: think of SMTP envelope as the address on a physical envelope for regular mail. Just like an envelope guides postal delivery, SMTP envelopes directs mail servers to where to send. Now, there are SMTP commands, the ports and advantages and disadvantages of SMTP. This I have highlighted in green because it's a assignment. You will do it on your own, no need to represent it, but I will need a Word document for it. Okay, so today's assignment is going to be regarding SMTP. I'll send a screenshot of it. It's just 3 questions. This is basically just one word answer. Okay, so it's just 2 questions basically. And what do you say? Not much. Okay, so I hope these assignments are done by tomorrow, Sunday, and you submit it to me on mail. Okay, no need to represent it. You still have 1 week for the other assignment that I gave yesterday, and we will take that next week. Let's go to POP. Okay, POP stands for Post Office Protocol. The POP protocol was published in the year 1984, and we have versions 2, 3. Then it is an internet standard protocol that works on application layer like SMTP. So the need for POP mainly arises when the user or client does not have a continuous internet connection and wants to receive email messages. The POP client makes use of POP to pull email messages from the POP server. POP3 is updated version of POP. Now, let's go back to our previous example of this. So we have sent a mail. It has gone to the SMTP server using the SMTP protocol. After that, it goes to the recipient's mail server. Now comes the question of downloading it. The receiver needs to find the mail. Okay. And for that, we are going to use POP. Okay. As you see, POP client makes use of POP to pull email messages from the POP server. POP3 is the updated version of POP. It is the same information as over here. Okay. We'll start from here. Once the POP3 client has established a connection with the mail server, it can easily retrieve all the messages from the server. The user can access the messages locally even if the user is offline. The protocol does not inherit support real-time or synchronization or automatic checking for new messages. Users can configure their email clients to check for new messages at intervals or manually. Many email programs, including Apple Mail, Gmail, Microsoft Outlook, support the POP3 protocol, although IMAP is often preferred for its synchronization features. Okay, what does it mean? Now, back to our example, we have got the mail. The receiver has got the mail. Okay, this is his SMTP server. Okay, and now it's time to view the mail. Okay, please note POP or IMAP does not come into picture when you are viewing your mails on browser. So for example, I have my Gmail opened here. Okay, this is my Gmail account and I am viewing it on the browser. So IMAP or POP3 are not into picture right now. Okay, I am directly connected to the server. I am directly connected to my account on the SMTP server. Therefore, POP3 or IMAP are not into picture. They only come into picture when I am using a email client. And what does it mean? This Outlook that you see over here, this is a client, this is a desktop application. I am not on www.outlook.com. This Outlook and this Outlook is different. This Outlook is on the browser. So POP or IMAP are not into the picture. But on this Outlook, which is the desktop application, which is the mail client, in that scenario, POP and IMAP will be used. Okay. So how are they used? So we have a server. Now I open Outlook, this client of mine, and I start to see the messages and I download them. So this is my, sorry. Yeah. This is my desktop application. This is my inbox folder, spam folder, junk folder, and so on. So this same scenario is on the server as well. And whatever has come here is viewed over here. Okay. And when I open or check an email, that email is downloaded from the server. Okay. Email is downloaded from the server, from the SMTP server. The email that is downloaded is stored locally on my machine. Okay. Therefore, I can see those messages even when the internet is off. That is one of the features. Second feature is that when a mail is downloaded from that SMTP server using POP, the mail gets deleted from the server, the SMTP server. Okay. So that server mail is no longer on the server. So internet off, you can mail is deleted from server once downloaded locally. Another is that it does not synchronize. Okay, what do I mean by that? Let me see if I put it. Okay, what do I mean by that? It this view, so inbox, spam, and junk folder, and my messages are visible only from one machine. Okay, so if I create another folder, let's say, okay, I open, let's say, this my mail, which is yashraj dot outlook dot com on phone. Okay, I open it on phone, and when I open it on phone, I create a folder called custom. Okay, so on my phone, okay, I have opened email, and on that email I see inbox, I see spam, I see junk, and I see a custom folder C. Okay, now when I come back to my laptop and I open my outlook, this desktop application. Okay, so my desktop application, I won't be seeing the custom folder. I'll see inbox, I'll see spam, I'll see junk. The custom folder will no longer as in will not be there, because this protocol does not synchronize. Okay, so whatever I see on different, so the view will be different for different machine based on when you are connected to the internet. So will the mail. Okay, so previously I'd given an example that a mail has received, I have downloaded it locally, so it goes from the smtp server, it gets deleted off. Now let's say after 2 hours, on my phone I open the outlook again. Okay, at that time I will not see the latest email. Why? Because it is already downloaded to my laptop and has been deleted from the server. Okay, those are the features of pop. Next, IMAP. So basically IMAP may these things you can do, but let's go through the differences first. So these protocols are used for retrieving your mails from the server. POP3 is the simplest of the two. That is because the only thing that POP3 does is download the email to your device from a mail server. That's it. That's the only functionality. It does not do any kind of synchronization. I just told you what the synchronization is. Okay, so if you op opening the your in mailbox on laptop and on phone will have different views, different scenarios, and based on that you will see your mails. Okay, you'll see for example, if you download a mail on your phone, it will get deleted from the server and it will no longer be visible to you on your PC. Okay, why? Because POP3 does not do synchronization. POP3, the email will be deleted on the mail server once it is downloaded to a device, unless leaving a copy on the server enabled in the client setting. Unless this setting is enabled. What is that setting? Leave a copy of messages on the server. Okay. Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, great. So we had SMTP for sender to sender SMTP server of the sender. Then the mail went to SMTP server of the receiver, and using POP, he got the mail. Okay, the receiver. Please note, in this case, he's using a desktop application. Okay, POP, what does it do? What does POP do? It POP downloads the mail from the server onto your desktop application. Once that is done, it deletes the mail from the server unless this option is selected, unless the setting leave a copy of the message on the server is enabled. Assuming that no such setting is enabled. What does this mean? So in your desktop application, okay, in your Outlook, you can see this mail, but when you open it on your phone, okay, you won't see that mail. So here you see 1, 2, 3 mails. Here only you'll see 1, 2. Same happens with the folders and everything, whatever the settings are there. Okay. Now, if you don't want such a thing, you use IMAP. Okay. IMAP allows you to view your email that is on the server from multiple devices. The email is kept on the server and it caches local copies of the email onto all your devices. IMAP does synchronization. Okay. What is IMAP? I just told you. I mean, it is same as POP. It is a protocol used for retrieving your mails from the server. The only difference is that it does synchronization, which means that no matter from which device you view your mail, you will always see the folders that are there, the mails that are there, everything. Okay. And this comes only in case of application. So if you have an Outlook on your phone, an application, and if you have on your laptop, and if you see open both on both devices, you will see the same folders, you'll see the same mails. Okay. Or both these protocols come into place when you have a mail client. It does not work when you are going on the browser and typing www.html.com, sorry, gmail.com or outlook.com. Okay, it only works when you have a client. Okay, on your phone it will be the Android, the Play Store app. On your desktop it is the desktop application. Okay, clear? So in POP you don't see that. In IMAP you will be able to see. So whatever you see on your desktop application is also visible on your phone. Okay, the same folders and the same mails. Also, if you are using IMAP, okay, and you download the mail from the server, okay, the copy is not deleted. The mail copy on the server is not deleted. Hence, no matter from which device you open your mailbox, okay, you will still be able to see the mail. I'm going to assume that you guys have understood.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, MIME. Okay. MIME. Okay. Before that, I'll just show you. Actually, we'll finish this and then I'll show you. MIME. Okay, so MIME is an extension of the original SMTP email protocol. It let users exchange different kinds of data, including audio, video, images, and application programs over mail. Unlike SMTP, MIME supports sending both ASCII text and non-ASCII data via email. For text in character sets other than ASCII, the MIME protocol is required. Okay? The MIME protocol supports multiple languages in email such as Hindi, French, Japanese, etc. It can simple mail. SMTP rejects mail that exceeds a certain size, but there is no word limit in MIME. It can send attachments, okay, and it can send audios, videos, etc. Many times emails are designed using code such as HTML and CSS. They are mainly used by companies for marketing their products. This type of code uses MIME to send email created from HTML and CSS. What these headers are, we'll go through it. But before that, I'll give you an example. So what used to happen is, right, in the previous scenario or previously, there was only English language and only words, only English language and only words. Therefore, SMTP worked. But now we have what? We have characters, Chinese, Japanese characters, right? We have characters like this. Okay. We have whatever their characters are. I don't know. Okay. Let's see something like this. Now, how do I send this on mail? Right? It is difficult. It does not fall under ASCII. Do you know what ASCII is? Okay. Have you heard the word before?
Yes, sir.
Good. So do you know what it is?
Sir, I guess it is something as standard for conversion of languages. Like,
ठीक है, you are correct. Almost. So ASCII was what? Key. It is a, okay, before table, I'll tell you what ASCII is. Okay. American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Basically, what it did was, let's take this example. Okay. So this is the ASCII table. Now, if I want to, for example, say hi, okay, in my mail, I want to start my mail with hi, hi user. Okay, this you have written in English, but when it goes, it is send, it is communication. It will go like this. A. How is sorry, H. What is H? This. How is it written? It sends in hexadecimal, okay, and then gets converted to binary. So we are not interested in binary right now. So we'll go with hexadecimal. So H is 48, I is 49. Okay. So how will the mail go? It will go like this. It will go 48, 48 and 49 like this. Okay. So it goes 48, 49. Hi. Then there will be some code for user, some number, comma, then again numbers, 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 everything. Okay. This is how the mail is sent. It is sent in hexadecimal numbers. Why? Because computers do not understand English language. Computers understand only ones and zeros. So first the letters and everything and whatever you write is converted into hexadecimal. That hexadecimal is then converted to binary. Okay. Now, but we didn't have, but now, like I said, if I want to send something in Hindi or something in these French characters, I don't have anything in ASCII for it. Okay. Do you see anything for our k, kh, g, g or anything? Do you see anything for attachment? Do you see anything for video? Nothing, right? There is no code. Then how to send? So in order to be able to send such mails, we came up with the MIME protocol. It helps you to send mails in different languages, and it helps you send attachments. And what are those attachments? It can be audio, video, and etc. files. That is the whole goal and purpose of MIME. Okay. Then there are different things in MIME which we will see. Okay, so it has 5 headers, which is MIME version, content type encoding, ID, and content description. So version will tell you what you're using. Content type tells you what kind of content you are sending. You're sending text, you're sending image, audio, video, PNG, or basically what type of data you're sending. Encoding is, it tells you which method has been used to convert mail information into ASCII or binary, such as 7-bit encoding or this. So encoding type, what it means is what type was used. So we have, let's say Hindi mein I type Yash Raj or Marathi. This is by name. Do I have ASCII for it? No, but I need to convert it into ASCII. So what do I use? Okay, I use something called as 7-bit encoding. Okay, I use 7-bit encoding to convert my Hindi, Marathi, Yashraj into ASCII. So now that value comes out to be 48, 96, 1, 32, etc. Okay, now this is a hexadecimal value, and which represents my name as Yashraj. And then this gets converted to binary. 48 binary में कितना होता है? Come on fast.
Sir, 0100 and
Left से बोल रहे हो कि
1000
right से?
left say
Okay. 0.
100
हाँ.
and 1000.
1000. ठीक है. So ये हुआ 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32 and 64. No, my number is 48. So it should be what? 32 plus 16. So it should be 0, 0, 1, 1 and all zeros. So that would be the binary. Okay. So that is how the mail would be sent. Then it goes to binary. So this is what the encoding type shows. It is not just 7-bit, it's 8-bit, it's multiple. Then you have an ID and you have a description. So this field contains a brief description of the content within the email. So content description. So it will be something like this. It will show you something like, for example, it will say content description, and it will be, for example, attachment, and uske baad it will say file name or file type, and it will be JPEG. Okay, so this is how the description will be. This image shows the same thing. Sender, user agent. User agent is nothing but your this is my user agent. This Outlook is my user agent. Okay, he converts non-ASCII code using MIME into 7-bit NVT ASCII or ASCII. Okay, either ASCII or binary. Then he does a transfer on port 25, and thus it is taken back to the original non-ASCII. So Hindi gets converted to ASCII and then goes to the receiver, and the ASCII is excuse me, the ASCII is converted back to Hindi. Okay, simple, got it?
Yes, sir.
It's good. I am just going to assume that everybody has got it. Okay, only one person is replying, so that's on you now if you don't. Okay, so I have an example over here. See, this is message. By the way, do you guys know how to see this message? This information. Sorry, I'll show you again. This is the email header information. Okay, along with the HTML scripts. Okay, I am going to assume you guys don't know. So if you go on your Gmail, go to more options and show original. Okay, once you show original, the original information will come up. By original information, you mean the encryptions, the headers, and everything that is there in the email headers. Okay, now let's see something that we just saw. For example, this over here. Now, where did it go? See, smtp@gmail.com. Now, you won't see SMTP of yours, okay, because Google handles it internally and it doesn't show you. Okay, you will see SMTPs of the receiving mails. If you want to see your own, create two accounts and send email from your one account to the other. That would be the best way to understand SMTP, your SMTP. Okay, SMTP. Okay, see, SMTP source you have, SMTP mail from. Okay, here you can see. Yeah, SMTP mail from. What was this? smtp.gmail.com. See, so this is the name, gmail.com at delivery.digest.grow.in. Okay, so this is the SMTP server from where I got my from where this Grow sent me mail. Grow.in is a company investment firm. Okay, this is the SMTP server from where they sent me the mail. Okay, what else can we see? Pop you cannot see, like I said, because this mail is in the browser, it is not on the desktop application. Okay, so you can see it in the settings, you can see it on that settings, but you will have to dive in deeper. Okay, let's see what else we can see. Okay, then you can see these security parameters, DKIM, SPF. Again, this is something different topic entirely. You can check that. It also shows you routing information. Okay, but in this case, like I said, this is for general public, so you don't see it. But if let's say you were using something like cloud, if you were using something, don't mean that, if you were using third party tools which show you the routing information, it shows you okay, from where did your mail come. Okay, like for example, like this, the return path, for example. So okay, so what happens if the mail fails? It goes to this return path, which is the SMTP server from where it came originally. Okay, all these details are there. Let's see MIME ka what we can see. Okay, let's see if we can see MIME version. Yeah, what MIME version is used? MIME version 1 is used. What is the content type? It is multiple part. What encoding we use? Binary and quoted. So now see what I showed you before over here. Where did that go? Sorry. This. Okay, it used 7-bit encoding, but instead in this mail, what it is using? This quoted printable. So Yashraj is converted into ASCII by using quoted printable type of encoding. They use this encoding to convert this Hindi Devanagari Yashraj to ASCII code and then send the mail. Okay, so this, for example, images that are attached over here, this graph that is attached over here, this all is using MIME. Okay, what else? Content type, etc. Yeah, this is the HTML code of how it is seen. So HTML code of this font, this center word, and how this list is written. That's the HTML code for that. Okay, so yeah, you can go on your mails, do show original, you find information. if you don't understand anything, go on Google and search it, and you will understand how these things work, what these things are, what these parameters are. Okay, so the three main things that we went with email was SMTP, POP, IMAP, and MIME. Okay, what were the things that we saw? SMTP used when sending, POP or IMAP used when receiving to download mails, and MIME. Okay, POP does not synchronize, so you will see different view of your mail on different devices. IMAP helps you to see same on or any device, multiple device. MIME is used for different languages and attachments. Language and attachments. Okay, any doubts?
सर
Yes.
सर सपोज मतलब अभी जो मेल्स यूज करते हैं तो उसमें तो मोस्टली माइम ही यूज होता होगा ना, तो फिर
Yes.
पॉप पॉप कहाँ पे यूज होता है?
पॉप इज टू डाउनलोड. अभी देखो, पॉप जब तुम लाइक आई सेड, अभी अगर मैं ये क्या कहते हैं, यहाँ पे नहीं यूज हो रहा है. सी, जब तुम ये तो तुम भी यूज करते हो ना, mail.google.com, and you see it on Google, right?
यस.
हाँ, तो it does not get used on that. Why? Because you are directly connecting to the SMTP server. ठीक है, तुम जो देख रहे हो वो सर्वर पे देख रहे हो. बट अब ये जो I cannot open this, हाँ, because this is office and confidential. So this is my desktop application. This is not connected to the browser. यहाँ पे मैंने कोई http.mail.google.com या outlook.com नहीं डाला है, करेक्ट?
यस सर.
हाँ, तो यहाँ पे जो मेल्स दिख रहे हैं मुझे इनबॉक्स में जो आए हैं, ये डाउनलोड हुए हैं. कहाँ से डाउनलोड हुए हैं? सर्वर से. एंड कैसे डाउनलोड हुए हैं? पॉप यूज करके. ठीक है, या फिर IMAP. अगर मैं यही चीज अगर सेम मुझे मेरे फोन पे दिख रही है तो IMAP यूज होके डाउनलोड हुआ है या फिर पॉप. अगेन ये सेटिंग तुम खुद चेंज कर सकते हो, तुम्हारी मर्जी है तुम्हें कौन सा प्रोटोकॉल यूज करना है. जब तुम ये इसके सेटिंग्स में जाओगे, अभी अगेन आई कांट शो यू बिकॉज क्या कहते हैं, इट्स कॉन्फिडेंशियल, बट लेट्स सी इफ आई फाइंड इट हियर. आउटलुक सेटिंग्स, पॉप. सी, ऐसा कुछ दिखेगा. ठीक है, तो उसके सेटिंग में जब जाओगे, सी फाइल, अकाउंट सेटिंग्स, ये सब तो तुम्हें भी दिख जाएगा. व्हेन यू गो अकाउंट सेटिंग्स, उसमें चेंज एंड अकाउंट, यू कैन सी पॉप डालना है कि IMAP डालना है. ठीक है, सो फॉर योर डेस्कटॉप एप्लीकेशन जब तुम्हें कुछ तो वो मेल जब तुम्हें दिखता है तुम्हारे इनबॉक्स फोल्डर में, वो सर्वर से डाउनलोड होके आता है और तुम्हारे यहाँ लोकली स्टोर होता है. तो अगर so that's where the POP and IMAP is used. ठीक है, MIME is not for downloading. MIME is to send data which is not in ASCII format. ठीक है, जब तुम मेल्स अटैचमेंट्स भेजते हो या कुछ डिफरेंट लैंग्वेज में भेजना है, तब MIME यूज होता है. It is not used for downloading. So when you are sending, MIME will be used, and when the receiver or you as the receiver is downloading, then POP and IMAP will be used.
ओके सर.
Got it? Pakka?
यस सर.
Okay.
सर
Great.
सपोज
Yeah.
सर
हाँ हाँ.
सर मतलब सपोज अपने को कभी कभी मतलब डिफरेंट लैंग्वेजेस में वगैरह मेल्स आते हैं. सपोज हिंदी में आया मेल तो फिर वो मतलब वो ट्रांसलेट होके जाते हैं या फिर कैसा रहता है वो, मतलब उसमें भी फिर माइम यूज होता है?
Yes. तो तुमने सपोज लिखा, ठीक है, तो जब तुम भेजोगे वो कन्वर्ट होगा, राइट, इट गेट्स कन्वर्टेड। ठीक है, कहाँ गया? हाँ, मैंने मेरा नाम लिखा एंड आई प्रेस सेंड, तो व्हाट हैपेंस इज व्हेन इट इज सेंड, mime is used. Okay, in what does mime, he converts this year into 48, sh into 96, ra into 1 and j into 32. Okay, he converts it into hexadecimal. Why? Because सिर्फ ASCII में जाता है। फिर ये नंबर कहाँ जाएगा? ठीक है, हम फिर से इसमें जाते हैं। तुमने सेंड किया, अब नंबर यूज होगा, वो नंबर जाएगा इस SMTP सर्वर पे, वही सेम नंबर जाएगा इस रिसीवर एंड पे, और यहाँ पे जब ये पॉप करके यूज करेगा, उस यूसेज में उससे पहले माइम यूज होगा टू कन्वर्ट दैट टू बैक टू द हिंदी। ठीक है, सो यहां तक, सो तुम्हें मिला, तुम्हारे सर्वर पे आया, और वहां पे फिर अभी भी ASCII है, फिर माइम यूज होता है, उसको कन्वर्ट किया जाता है, फिर यहाँ पे माइम, यहाँ पे फिर से पॉप आएगा, यहाँ पे यूजर एजेंट के बाद, सॉरी, एंड देन यू आर द रिसीवर हु विल रिसीव इट।
सर मतलब हर एक लैंग्वेज को अलग आज की टेबल रहते हैं?
नहीं, एस, तो टेबल, ये तो बेसिक इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज और ASCII का टेबल है। देयर विल, यस, एंड देयर विल बी अ यूनिक कोड फॉर ऑल दैट। यस, तो य का अलग होगा, अब यहाँ पे नहीं है बिकॉज वी डोंट हैव इट, बट इट गेट्स कन्वर्टेड इनटू समथिंग। ठीक है, आई थिंक दिस इज द होल टेबल, बट if there are any updates I'm not sure, but it gets converted into something. तो मे बी वो जो य था वो y में कन्वर्ट होगा शायद, और उसकी 89 नंबर जाएगा इन दैट केस।
ओके सर। सर और नेक्स्ट वीकेंड एग्जाम है, मतलब TA2,
है क्या?
सैटरडे और संडे।
अच्छा, एक सेकंड रुको। सॉरी, ठीक है, नेक्स्ट वीक एग्जाम्स है। ओके, यूनिट 1 इज डन, यूनिट 2 इज आल्सो डन, एक 1% बचा होगा, देयर इज जस्ट SNMP, वो 5 मिनट में खत्म हो जाएगा, एंड देन विल स्टार्ट विथ यूनिट 3 वर्चुअलाइजेशन। ठीक है, यूनिट 4, अब 3 और 4 के PPTs तो अपलोड हो जाएंगे। ठीक है, I'll obviously keep it simple for the things that are not taught, but mostly finish हो जाएगा। I am planning to take a lecture on Monday and next Friday as well. ठीक है, तब तक के लिए तुम जब PPTs अपलोड हो जाएंगी, सेल्फ स्टडी कर लो थोड़ा। Okay, I'll keep 3/4 as simple as possible.
ओके सर।
सर
Yeah, yes.
सर BGP वाले वो असाइनमेंट कब तक सबमिट करना रहेगा?
Next week, so next week Saturday तक,
सर
Saturday
तो
से पहले।
प्रेजेंटेशन टाइम तो मतलब नेक्स्ट सैटरडे तो एग्जाम है।
हाँ, उससे पहले कर लो, like we won't have it, but you can submit it till Friday then. I'm saying Saturday, हाँ, so you send it to me over mail. Okay, Friday I'm planning to take a lecture, but if doesn't happen and if I have to syllabus, तो presentation नहीं होगा. So before Saturday, your deadline is Saturday. Before on or before Saturday, you send it to me over mail.
ओके सर।
Presentation will
ओके
see.
सर।
Yeah. So yeah, please do your assignments thoroughly because उसपे obviously questions आएंगे and it's a good way to study. बाकी तो yeah, I think mostly done. See if I'll show you. Okay. So we are done with this. We are done till here, and now virtualization. Okay. It's just long words, but actually it is just small. Anybody of you already has experience with virtualization, has learned virtualization? Okay, no. So see, simple task would be to go on Google and just type what is virtualization. You'll get an idea. So when I explain it, you already know, and probably you would have a faster grasp of what is being taught. ठीक है? So जल्दी समझ में आएगा, जल्दी खत्म होगा. So as a self study, your choice. Go on Google and search what is virtualization, and you'll be okay. ठीक है? Okay, guys, that's it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, just 1, 2. How many are there? 3, 5, 6, 7. Let me just see if I have right. Yeah. Kunal, Kuber, Digvijay, Amita, Prathamesh, Shubham. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow.
Sir.
Thank you, sir.